How is everybody? So I am recording this. So this will get uploaded to YouTube as well. So this is basically my Akashic Wednesday Wisdom live or replay. And this is really where I support you with your own Akashic record practice. So it is really key if you're using the Akashic records, that amazing cosmic realm that sits on the 5th dimension and is that energy point where you can access all of your own information around every single, lifetime that you've ever lived since your soul's creation. Then it does take a degree of practice. So anything that uses your intuition and, we're connecting with your guides and the spiritual realms, does require us to kind of put a little bit of time and effort in. And so this is why I do this Wednesday Wisdom Live. And of course, I've not been doing that for the last couple of weeks because I have been with COVID. So it's lovely to be back here. So today, it seemed quite fitting that we looked at surrender, because we have a real thing, especially with being human, that surrendering can be seen as weak. And from an ego point of view, we will generally, I talk from personal experience, we will do anything not to surrender because we want to be able to battle our way through it, or we want to push, or whatever it might be. And sometimes surrendering to the circumstances or the changes or the fear is actually more appropriate. And it's actually, we stand more in our power when we surrender at times. And so I thought surrendering, because I've had to surrender my physical health and well-being to be able to heal from COVID. And that's needed me for my ego to kind of really let go and allow for the virus to kind of do what it needed to do, which in itself is scary. But COVID aside, any kind of situation which feels very, very overwhelming, where we have a perceived idea of what the result is going to be, we will hang on and we will not surrender. For love or money, we will not surrender. And it's not always appropriate. So I thought it would be nice for us to go into the Akashic Records and actually just give up, surrender something that perhaps that you've been challenged by at the moment. So if for some of you, it could be health, it could be a relationship, it could be financial situation. And I want us to be able to just have a little bit of ease and flow, kind of come in to your experience and into the Akashic Records and allow yourself to surrender and hand over this challenge, this thing that perhaps you're kind of holding on to, and you may not even realize you're holding on to it until we get into the Akashic Records. And so I want us to then see, if we surrender and we let go, what energies are we inviting in? What changes and shifts will you see after today's session once you surrender? So that's what we're going to be doing today. So it's been kind of very much influenced by my own healing journey that I've had the last couple of weeks. But it can relate to anything, because there's always things that we do not want to give up. We do not want to surrender. And some of it's all programming, some of it's conditioning, just the way that we've been kind of, been brought up by society in general. It is seen generally as a sign of weakness when we surrender ourselves. And actually it's not, but it feels quite alien. Okay, so letting go of control. Yes. Hi, Elvie. Hope you're well. Good to see you here. And control is something that actually that we all like to have. We all seem to want and like to have control. And as I say, it does go back to that kind of not wanting to be perceived as weak. But also there's an aspect around judgment and what will people think of me if I lose control, if I drop the plates, if I admit that I can't cope with everything that we're already coping with, which is an immense amount already. but what will people think? And you know, it's ridiculous the amount of pressure that we put on ourselves. So today we're going to let go of that pressure, or some of that pressure, and I would just like to invite you to notice how you feel afterwards, but also what changes and what are you allowing in when you actually surrender, because that's where the doors of opportunity open. That's where we allow a new energy to come in, and perhaps a new person, a new idea, a new direction. We can open ourselves up in so many ways, but for whatever reason, we find it a real challenge to do that. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'd just like to invite you to close your eyes and just get comfortable. And I'd like you to just place your hands with your palms facing upwards on your lap. And what we're doing is we're just putting ourselves into a receptive mode. So straight away, we're kind of surrendering our body to the higher energies that we're going to be calling in. And what I'd like you to do is just take a deep breath in for me. And with that breath, what we're going to be doing is just calling back your energy from across time and space, people and events. And on that out breath, just allow everything to relax. Allow the shoulders to drop. And the body just starting to feel a little bit heavier in the chair. And again, just take another deep breath in. Calling back your energy from across time and space, people and events. And on that out breath, allow the face to slacken and to relax. The jaw to soften. And the shoulders just to really drop. And the palms and the hands are starting to get heavy on the laps. And again, take one more deep breath in. Calling back your energy from across time and space, people and events. And on that out breath, I just want you to start to imagine your feet are getting heavier, connecting with the floor. And start to imagine that you've got some thick, strong roots coming from the soles of your feet. And either imagine that these roots are coming from the soles of your feet, or just know or sense that those roots are making their way down through the earth, through the soil, through the rocks and the lava, down towards the heart of the planet, down towards Mother Earth, sending your roots deep, deep into the earth. And there at the heart of Mother Earth is a large crystal. And I want you to visualize, sense, or just know that there's a crystal there, and just get a sense for what kind of crystal or color that crystal is. And wrap your roots around that beautiful energy. And as you're wrapping those roots around, there will be this transference of energy coming from the heart of Mother Earth. And your roots will start to soak up that energy. And you'll feel perhaps that more nurturing and nourishing energy that she provides. Perhaps starting to feel a lot more grounded, a lot more earthed, connected to the planet, connected to the ground. And your roots will start to naturally soak up that crystalline energy from the heart of Mother Earth. And it's making its way up the roots, up through the soil, up through the lava, the stones, the rocks, the shale, higher and higher. And we're going to take that energy up through the physical body and through the chakras. And as we take the energy through the chakras, each one will open, become into balance, and will spin to the perfect speed and rate for you. So bringing the energy through the Earth Star chakra, which is the chakra below your feet, Feeling that crystalline energy coming up through the feet, up into the legs, up to the knees, up to the thighs. Taking it up through the root chakra, the base of the spine, up through the sex organs and the sacral chakra, taking it higher through the navel chakra below your belly button, higher again above your belly button through the solar plexus. The energy is rising up to the heart, and I just want you to pause at the heart and just take a deep breath in for me. And as you're breathing in that beautiful crystalline energy in the heart, and as you breathe out, you're expanding your heart chakra, really feeling that crystalline energy as it works its way through the heart, expanding in the ribs, in the chest, at the back. And then that energy is starting to rise again up to the shoulders, falling down the arms, all the way down to the palms. And the palm chakras are just opening there, and you may sense or feel a beautiful energy just shining from the palm chakras, and it's just lighting up the space around you in your auric field. It's almost like you have two torches, one on each palm, that's just lighting up that space. Bringing your attention now up to the throat, taking it through the throat chakra. As the energy rises up now up to the third eye, the point between your eyebrows. Taking it now wider towards the ears, into the eardrums, through the ear chakras, which is just allowing you to hear any messages that you are given in the Akashic Records today. The energy travels towards the middle of your head through the pituitary and pineal gland, and then higher up to the crown. And I want you to just imagine that your crown chakra is opening like a large lotus flower, and those petals are just gently falling around the face, around the back of the head. And that beautiful crystalline light is shining up through the crown chakra, lighting up the etheric chakras above your head, so your soul star chakra, your universal chakra, and your stellar gateway right at the top, which is about 1.5 meters above your head. The causal chakra at the back of the head is also being lit. And that particular chakra is important because it connects you with your Akashic records and the 5th dimension and above. So all of your chakras have been opened, and we're going to call in your spiritual support team now. Just asking them to step into your space, any guides, any beings of 100% pure love and light, your spiritual personal team, angels, ascended masters, family guides, elemental energies, galactic beings, star races, galactic councils. We invite you all into this space now. And we're also going to call in our 6 archangels to hold our space. So Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. Please take a space around our physical body, with Archangel Michael behind us, Archangel Gabriel to your left, Archangel Uriel in front, Archangel Raphael to your right. We invite Archangel Sandalphon to take a place below our feet. And Archangel Metatron, please bring down a thread of divine source energy and take a place above our heads, above our etheric chakras. Archangel Metatron is bringing down this golden thread of energy that is now going to connect with our stellar gateway chakra at the top, And as he connects and plugs us into divine source, each chakra point outside of your body and within your physical body is taking on this beautiful golden light. It's almost like you've been lit with a golden pillar of energy through your central core of your body, all the way from the top of your head, all the way through the physical body, through the torso, through the legs, through your feet, through your Earth Star chakra, and all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth. You're being held in this beautiful golden pillar of energy. And again, I want you to take a deep breath in here for me. And on that out breath, I want you to breathe that golden energy through the aura. And your auric field is around 2 meters all around you. So taking in another deep breath in of that golden energy. And on that out breath again, just breathing the energy through the aura. And as we're taking it through the aura, we're cleansing and clearing any other people's energies that are not serving you, anything from the collective consciousness, any fears, any lower astral energy that's stuck within your auric field has just been dissolved with this beautiful golden energy. And that golden energy is going past your auric field and it's now filling the room, every corner, every nook, every cranny, every object within your space, every piece of furniture, every plant. It's all taking on this beautiful divine source energy, and anything that's not serving you is just being released from the environment. And that is just being dissolved by divine source energy. So we're just going to request that your ego now leaves the room. So just imagine that there's a version or an aspect of you that's starting to separate themselves from your physical body, making their way to the door, opening the door, stepping out of the room and closing the door gently behind them. So now any messages, any inspiration, any sense of any kind of guidance that you get, you know that it's coming from your guides or your higher self. So bring your attention now to your third eye, that point between the eyebrows. And I want you to imagine that there's a purple portal of light that's starting to swirl and twirl and spin at that particular point, and it's starting to get bigger and bigger. And that purple portal of light is getting bigger and bigger. And it becomes so big you can see it in front of you, and you can step into that purple swirling light and find yourself in your corridor. And for some of you, this corridor will feel very familiar. This is the corridor that takes you to your Akashic Records. So just start to walk down this corridor, just really familiarizing yourself with that space and with that walk, that journey to the door that's at the end of the corridor. And when you get to the door, I want you to notice that your details are on that door, your full name, your date of birth, your place of birth. Once you can sense that your details are there, or perhaps you can see them, then place your hand on the door handle, open the door, and step into your cosmic library, your Akashic Records. Take a few more steps in and allow the door to gently shut behind you. And I want you to make your way into the middle of your library where your large table is. And on this large table is your present lifetime book. And this present lifetime book is being constantly updated with all of the thoughts, feelings, decisions that you are making. Every aspect, every single part of your day is all being recorded. in your present lifetime book. And as you're standing at your table, we're going to invite the Akashic Record guides that wish to support you today. So start to feel, sense, or see guides starting to step towards you. There may be more than one guide, and that's absolutely perfect. These guides might be different to the guides that you had last time, and that is also absolutely fine. Say hello to your guides, introduce yourself in any way that feels appropriate for you. And just take a look around your Akashic records whilst you're here, just to see or notice if anything has changed or moved. And your guides are smiling and delighted that you're here again today to connect with the process of being able to surrender. Your guides know that this can be a challenging thing for us to do, because quite often we like to be in control. We like to be able to direct the outcomes of our life, situations, even our relationships. We like to really influence what we can to receive what we perceive to be the best results. However, sometimes this isn't the case. And in the art of surrendering, we can actually receive a much more favorable outcome. But sometimes we have to be willing to step out of our comfort zone and almost take a leap of faith to allow ourselves to surrender to perhaps a higher calling or guide, or sometimes even to our health. And so your guides are inviting you to think of something that you have been holding on to, that you've not wanted to give up because you feel that it's in your best interest to hold on to it. And your guide is asking for you to think of the thing that feels scary, the thing that you feel really reluctant about giving up, because that will be where the real growth and the real change can come for you if you're willing to hand it over. So thinking of whatever that situation or that relationship or whatever that thing might be, I want you to imagine or see it, give a word to it, or perhaps a shape. Perhaps have it in your hands so that you can actually physically connect with it. Perhaps understand what the fears are behind not wanting to surrender. What do you feel or think will happen if you hand this over? Do you feel that it can't be replaced? That you're going to lose out in some kind of way? That perhaps financially you're not going to be as well off? That you're going to be perhaps abandoned or lonely? Why do you not want to give this up? Just really connecting with that. And I want you to have that in your hands, and your guides are going to step forward, and in their hands they have a sack. And they want you to physically hand over and surrender this situation, this object, this color, this word, this emotion, this perception, this connection, relationship, whatever it might be. Hand it over and place it in the sack. Allow it to come from the hands, allow it to drop into that space. And I just want you to feel what that feels like now that you've let that go. Do you feel out of control because you've handed that over? Do you feel a sense of peace, lightness? Do you feel a sense of relief because you've given yourself permission to not feel the burden of that control or that needing that control anymore? Your guides are taking that sack and they're just going to close the top of that sack. And within that sack, you perhaps will notice that there's maybe lights or something that's happening within that sack. And the energies are going to start to transform and change and shift around that situation. And as that sack perhaps moves and changes and shifts, you perhaps will feel that within the physical body, within your aura, within your mental or emotional bodies. There will be things that will be starting to be released also. As that situation starts to change, as the energies start to shift and move and transform, things are being released, not only from your body, but also from the Akashic Records. And you'll notice that whatever is within that sack is starting to slow down, starting to come to a standstill. And your guides are going to open up the top of that sack again. And they're going to pull out something else, because that situation, whatever you've surrendered, has now been transformed into another object. This could be a word, a colour, a symbol, a shape. So your guide is reaching into the sack and is asking you now to open out your hands again. And I want you to notice as your guide hands in that object, I want you to look at what that object is and see what that situation or whatever you surrendered, what has it been transformed into. And your guides are going to give you some information now around why this symbol or object has appeared in its place. And if you need further clarity, then ask your questions now in terms of how this symbol can help you moving forward. And once you've got some clarity around what that symbol means for you, your guides just want to step a little bit closer to your physical body And then just placing your hands around the head. Your guides are just going to administer some healing. So there's going to be this green, beautiful energy that starts to emanate from their hands. And this is just going to cleanse and clear anything that's stuck around the mental body, anything around the third eye, around the crown, around the causal chakra. So anything that's not serving you, any kind of programming, any illusions, implants, any imprints of trauma, they're just being released from the mental body and those chakra points. Because whatever you've been holding on to is connected with a past life. And we're just releasing the energies of that so that you don't feel so determined going forward to push, to strive, to be in control. Whatever we're releasing here is just going to help you to be more comfortable with trusting, surrendering, and allowing what needs to be. So we're just releasing those constraints, those connections, those threads to anything from the past that's had us believe that the best way for us to operate is to push, to hold on, to be in control. And that isn't always appropriate. So that is just being released by your guides. And again, you may start to feel lighter around the head, within the mental body, within your thoughts. You probably will also feel that the idea of surrendering doesn't feel as scary, feels just a little bit more comfortable, and that it's okay to be out of control at certain times. So your guides are just stepping back as that healing has been activated. And your guides are now suggesting that with that symbol or that object, whatever you're holding in your hands, that you now install it into your present lifetime book. So pulling your book towards you, you'll notice that there's a picture or an illustration already of that healing that you've just received. Perhaps an image of the sack and the object that you placed within it. And holding that object now, I want you to press it into the page and allow it to disappear, to perhaps become an illustration or a photograph or just words. And this symbol is representative of your willingness to be more open to surrender, more open to trust, to allow, and to be out of control at certain times. So by anchoring and installing this symbol, this will help you to align more appropriately to that energy and allow you to step into that energy of surrender whenever it feels appropriate for you. So now stepping back from the table, Your guides are just wanting you to now reflect on how you're feeling and how things perhaps have now shifted, and you perhaps feel more relaxed, lighter, looser perhaps in the body, more at peace. Your guides are now just saying goodbye. You may want to say goodbye to them in any way that feels appropriate for you. And then you can start to head towards the door of your Akashic Records, taking one more look around your cosmic library. I want you to open the door, step into the corridor, allow the door to shut behind you, and actively in your mind or out loud say, I now close my Akashic Records. Start to head towards the purple portal of light at the end of the corridor. And as you get to that purple portal of light, I want you to step through the light. Start to feel yourself come back into the physical body. Start to rub your feet on the floor. Start to rub your thighs. Start to ground the healing. Ground that energy. Ground those messages that were brought through. And if you didn't quite catch what the messages were, or perhaps what the symbols or the objects were, then the intention is that that information will be given to you in some shape or form over the next couple of days. So just keep an open mind with the information and how it can come to you. It may come through words, it may come through conversation, it may come through symbols or images, and it will just spark a connection. There will be something that will just take you back to this Akashic Record meditation, and you'll know it's connected. You may want to just sit and do a little bit of journaling now and allow for the information to come through that way as well. That's also a fantastic way to stay connected and record the wisdom and the guidance that you get and the healing in your Akashic Records, and you know what you'll get given from your guides. So do make sure that you drink lots of water over the next 24 hours, because that just helps flush the healing through the physical body. But also water is a great conductor for wisdom and knowledge from your Akashic Records, because it's a conductor, but it holds its own energies as well. So it's a great way to make sure that you're receiving everything that you need to receive from the Akashic Records. So do let me know how that journey went for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope that you now feel a little bit more comfortable and confident with the energy of surrendering and not pushing so hard. Okay, so if you want to go deeper with me, if you want to do anything one-to-one, then please do get in contact. And if not, I will see you very, very soon. Speak to you soon. Bye.